Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video. And today we're going to be talking about Candy, episode 5. And let's get started. So the episode starts off with the police reenacting from start to finish what they think happened the day Betty died to her prosecutors so that they could create a good case for Betty. And then we jump to court where we see Betty's parents and Candy's lawyer outside of the court having a press conference, something that the judge told him not to do and that he got in trouble for later while he was in court. During that press conference, he made it a point to say that Betty died on Friday the 13th, just like the movie. Betty's house was the 13th one from the corner, and that her body was found 13 hours later, and that Candy got arrested 13 days later. That's weird. That's suspicious. What are the chances of that? Candy's lawyer seemed immature at times, like he had no chance on winning this case. He also got in trouble a lot while he was in court. And because he was being so disruptive, he ended up having to pay a fine and spending like 5 days in jail. Then Killer Candy shows up at court and she pleads not guilty. What got me confused is why Alan got up there and told everybody in the courtroom that him and Candy ended things mutually. And Candy over there smiling at him. He just told the police that he ended things with Candy because she was in love with him and things between him and Betty were getting better. So he ended it. His response to that was, I don't know why I said that. And my response is, what about your daughter? Why you up there lying for Candy when you got a whole daughter who don't got her mama no more? And a little infant that got hoarse because she was crying for 13 hours for his mama. And it was confirmed in court that Betty was pregnant with their third child. So Candy just didn't kill Betty. She killed the baby that was inside of her too. Then Officer Diffie gets on the stand and he gets asked a whole bunch of questions about who was holding on to this axe. Betty's fingerprints wasn't on this axe, so I don't know what Candy's lawyer is talking about. But they were still out there claiming self-defense. But my thing is, when Betty was on the floor, she got hit with the axe in the same spot in her face multiple times. It was like 20-something times in the face. And then Candy's lawyer let the whole courtroom know that Candy did in fact kill Betty, and that she left her blood, her fingerprints, and her hair at the scene. Candy's friend Sherry is shook. So then they get back to Candy and Pat's house, and Candy is telling Sherry and Sherry's husband that by her going to a psychiatrist, it helped her realize that the reason why she killed Betty is because she's being controlled, and she's blaming that on her mother. Just like a psycho. What your mama got to do with you chopping up somebody 41 times? She started talking about when she was little, she hit her head and it was bleeding. And when her mama took her to the hospital, she was crying. And because she was crying, her mama looked at her and shushed her. She was like, shh, what would people think of you? So she's blaming the 41 hits on suppressed anger. And they're eating it up. Sherry just tells her, I'm upset that you lied to me. And Candy's like, I just couldn't say it. I just couldn't say it. So Candy's lawyer tells her that she's going to have to get up there in court and tell her side of the story. She's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. But she did it. And that's when we finally get to see what supposedly happened. So Candy gets up there and she tells this story about how she went over to Betty's house to pick up Christina's bathing suit and some peppermints. And about the outfits that Betty is making the whole family for the vacation that they're about to go on. She says they go out into the backyard because she heard the dog barking, and that they go back inside after that. And that's when Candy tells Betty about the business that her and Sherry are about to start up called Cover Girls, and how they're about to start wallpapering people's houses. After that is when Betty said, are you having an affair with Alan? And that's when Candy said no. And Betty said, but you did. And then Candy said, yeah, but it was a long time ago. She said after that is when Betty walked away. And when she came back, she had an axe. After she said that, Betty's ghost popped up in court. I guess she said, So we see Betty holding this axe and she looks very scared and timid holding it. She tells Candy, I don't want you to see him ever again. You can't have him. Candy's like, don't be ridiculous. That was over a long time ago. And Betty's like, still, I don't want you to ever see him ever again. So Candy tells her, under these circumstances, I think that I should bring Christina home after Bible school. And Betty's like, no, Don't bring her home today. Bring her home tomorrow. I don't want to see you again today. And then walks and put the axe down in the corner. But look at how she supposedly walked away. Why she gotta walk like that? So when Candy took it upon herself to apologize to Betty and rub on her arm, that supposedly set Betty off. It triggered her. She supposedly pushed Candy down, and then they got into this tug of war with this axe. She made it seem like Betty hit her first, and that's how she got that cut on her head, and she got that cut on her toe because when Betty swung the axe, it kind of got her toe when it hit the floor. They were scuffling on the floor for a minute, and Candy admitted to hitting Betty on her back with the axe, and that she threw it down because she thought Betty was dead, and she tried to run out, but then Betty got up and was like, "No, you can't leave this room." She said the reason why she axed up Betty 41 times is because the baby started crying, and when the baby started crying, Betty said, "Shh," just like her mama told her to do when she had to go to the hospital that day. So it triggered her that much that she axed up Betty 41 times, so much that saliva was coming out of her mouth. Meanwhile, Betty's ghost is still in the courtroom listening to this whole thing. And so they asked her in the court, "After you did that to Betty, what did you do?" This psycho said that she took a shower because she couldn't stand all of that blood that was on her. But she left out the fact that she did end up going to Christina's swim class and bringing her a peppermint. And she left out the fact that she left that little baby in there crying for 13 hours, went home, slept, and ate like she didn't do nothing. Talking about she didn't want to do it, but Betty made her do it. She said that Betty put her in that position. Then she told the court that Alan wasn't the last affair that she had. She had another one, but she refuses to tell this man's name because she doesn't want to ruin a family. I think she was having an affair with her best friend Sherry's husband. Remember when they was outside of the courtroom last episode in episode 4, and she was all up on his arm rubbing it and they was laughing? Then she had to go and tell her simp husband Pat that she had another affair after Alan because it was going to come out in the news and paper anyway, but he didn't do nothing. So then we see the jury come inside and they decide that Candy is not guilty. I don't know how, because it don't make no sense. And then you see Betty's mama crying, everybody is gasping. And then you see Betty's ghost say, "You left my baby." Yes, she did. Why wasn't that brought up in court? That's child abuse. She should have got charged with that. You see Betty's mama tell Alan, "You didn't care if she lived or died," which makes me think about people saying that this was both Candy and Alan's idea. Do y'all think that Alan was behind this too? And if this story that Candy gave the court was true, that's pitiful. I don't think it's true because they never found Betty's fingerprints on that axe. Candy is a stone cold psycho killer, and somehow she got away with killing Betty and Betty's unborn baby. And I don't think that she ever got over Alan. And then we see psycho Candy walking out of the courtroom. She's walking to her car. She picks up something off of the ground, and I'm like, what is that? It's a peppermint. And she puts it in her mouth, and she gives us a little smirk like, "Yeah, I got away with it. What you gonna do? Can't do nothing because I was found not guilty." Anyway, Alan and Elaine ended up getting married shortly after the court. I feel bad for that little girl because Elaine over here trying to tell her how to shoot her food up. And just as the judge promised, Candy's lawyer ended up having to serve his jail time for acting a fool up in the courtroom. And 6 years later, he ran for governor of Texas. Candy and Pat finally divorced 4 years after court, and I'm surprised that it took that long. But what shook me, it got me floored, is that Candy relocated and changed her name and started a career as a mental health counselor. That'll do it. Who's she out there counseling? God bless them. She probably out here creating lunatics. Not probably. I'm sure she is. But y'all let me know your thoughts on this situation down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this mini-series. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.